Make sure y'all talk loud. So everybody back.
Yeah, last time they couldn't hear it.
I know.
Wait on you. So this is just yours, right? $29. Yeah, and it's online. You can read it. So just April 24th. That's when the Secretary of State signed it. But he don't say that.
Take away.
Your best side if it is.
That's right.
Good morning. Welcome everyone coming out this morning. Thank you all for coming out and me as well as for covering this press conference. Welcome the city of Loudon Mayor Jeff Harris, North City Mayor Tony Akins, Greenback Mayor Dwayne Birchfield, and Philadelphia Mayor Chris Miller. Thank them for coming out as well. We've attempted from the day one of this pandemic to show a unified front. And I think that's today is just another example of that. Just an update on Loudon County side is just as we go through this, Friday will be the first day of the we're reopening, or hopefully return to some sense of normalcy. Is the county office building effectively then will be open. We've not closed, but we'll be back to business as normal. Our courts will remain closed. They answer to the Tennessee Supreme Court, so they're not at this time choosing to reopen yet. They are at the whim of the Supreme Court, and you still can pay fines and court costs and such there, but as far as just general access, it's not going to be allowed. The Justice Center, the lobby will open next week, and so all that's kind of tied in. And the jail is right now under the same protocols with suspended visitation for the time being. It's a very dense population inside of our jail, and so we don't want that this virus getting loose in there. The annex, the property assessor, register of deeds, and trustee are going to be returning to regular schedule on Monday. And then the big one in the annex is the county clerk, and so they've got a few restrictions. Now the title and registration services will begin on May the 4th. The driver's license services will begin on June the 15th. Passport services are still pushed out, and those are yet to be determined. Now if you come in to do your license or your registration or any of those, there's going to be a limited number allowed inside the courthouse annex at any given time. That's going to be necessary to comply with social distance requirements. Don't be afraid of online services. That's going to be one of the easiest ways to keep crowds down. If you can do it online, take care of it online, and that saves you a trip to the annex. The satellite offices, the satellite location partners, they will be soon open as soon as it is felt to be safe. The schedule right now is Greenback office will open on May the 6th. Lenore City office will open June 1st. And the Tellico Village office is still to be determined. So as everybody kind of rushes back to get their tags renewed and everything up to date, they're expecting a rush. Be patient. Be patient is all we ask. It's going to be some crowds. You may have to wait outside for a little bit, but that's for your safety as well as the safety of our employees. The animal shelter through May will be still by appointment only. Animal control officers will still be doing their regular duties, and so nothing's changed there. But if you're coming in to either bring in an animal, or a stray animal, or adopt, please make an appointment ahead of time. The Loudon County Senior Citizen Center will reopen on May the 5th, and that's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 until 12 for a couple of weeks. Then the staff is going to use the other times to make sure we sanitize all the equipment and everything that's used in there. May the 6th, the senior citizen staff will pack and deliver senior food boxes. If everything goes as planned, goes well, we're gonna do that for the 2-day week, and then beginning on May the 18th, we will go to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the foreseeable future. And if that goes well, we'll get back to our regular schedule as far as senior citizens go. Our veteran service officer at Rome State Community College in Lenore City, the office is open. You can't come in, but he is still there. He can take phone calls. He can help you over the phone, all that he can, but still won't be able to get inside as of yet. And our libraries are still yet to be determined. Most are using curbside service anyway, and you can call ahead if you need a book or something like that, but we're working on getting those back to a full schedule as well. And as we do, then we'll do our best, and I'll do my best to keep everyone updated. So that's pretty much it for Loudon County. This time I'll turn it over to Loudon City Mayor Jeff Harris.
Thank you, Mayor Bradshaw, and the other mayors for being here this morning. And I want to thank Mayor Bradshaw too. As he mentioned, we've tried to do this as a unified body, but he's kind of took the lead, and we're okay with that. And he's kind of pushed out the information, and it's coming through one source, and I think that's the best way to do that. In the city, Loudon City Hall will still be, the lobby will be closed. They're still working in City Hall. They'll be that way for at least 2 more weeks. And the same way with LUB customer service, drive-through only as of right now. We're going to evaluate it in a couple more weeks with that. Continue with the A and B teams that they have with the utilities, servicing customers and things. So that will continue. We won't see a drop-off in any kind of service that way. Our parks and rec department, the basketball courts and soccer fields and those kind of things are going to remain closed for at least a couple more weeks. And then we'll evaluate it at that point. Parks are still open, walking trails, get outside, enjoy the outdoors. Just make sure you do it responsibly, like we've talked, with the current amount of social distancing that's encouraged. So that'll still remain as it is today. And then we'll look at it in the next 2 weeks to see what we're going to do in the future. Some people have asked me about the splash pad in Loudon, the pool and splash pad. It's not going to open on the 16th like we'd originally planned, so we'll look at it more in June, 1st of June, and evaluate it at that point. Just also want to remind everyone that as Governor Lee put out Executive Order number 29, and it went into effect at 12 a.m. this morning, which allowed restaurants to open up at 50% capacity. There's a document that he's put together, his group, the Economic Recovery Group, the Tennessee Pledge, and there's certain restrictions there for restaurants and retail. Retail will open on Wednesday at 50% capacity. I'd encourage those business owners to read those stipulations and suggestions for them to open up and just try to follow those guidelines that's established there. That's the way we've kind of left it as mayors, to take the lead from the governor's office, and we're going to follow his guidelines and their recommendations. Talked to Susan this morning. Lastly, before I turn it over to Mayor Akins, we really want to encourage people to fill out the census. That's kind of took a back seat here with all this COVID-19 pandemic, but we are up to 56%, she told me this morning, as far as response rate. That really has long-term effects for our funding, federal funding, for our education, our health care, all the things we depend upon. So it's really important that we get those good numbers reported, and so we can get the federal funding we need. And the magic number is to be above 50% when all things are said and done, so we want to try to get as much census reporting done as we can. So I'll turn it over to Mayor Akins.
Thank you, Mayor Harris and Mayor Bradshaw and the other mayors that's with us this morning. Thank you all for being here. Certainly, we've been together since this started, and I think it sends a clear message to people of Loudon County. The Lenore City Municipal Building and LCUB services will start regular business on May the 1st at 8 a.m. While we continue to operate, you do have to make an appointment until then, but we will be getting back to regular business on May the 1st. The county vehicle registrations that is done there at City Hall on Mondays and Tuesdays, they will not start that until June the 1st. The folks that helps people with their income tax, Their services will start on May the 2nd. That's on a Saturday, and also on Saturday, May the 9th. So May the 2nd and May the 9th, if you need some help with your income tax, filling those out, you'll be able to come to City Hall and see those folks as well. All city playgrounds will be closed until May the 11th. After that, they'll be opened up at full capacity. We'll be going through the cleaning process on a regular basis to try to keep the germs down. The Loudon City Pool will reopen on May the 23rd. However, it may be delayed just a few days for the preparation caused by the obstacles caused by the coronavirus. But we're going to try to get it open on May the 23rd. And we're going to have a short baseball season. I talked to the Parks and Rec this morning, and they're going to try to start that on June the 1st through July the 3rd. And it may be July the 2nd, depending on how it works out. But right now it's scheduled to open on June the 1st for a short baseball season. As Mayor Harris said, the governor issued an order stating that the restaurants will open up at 50% capacity on the 27th. I have had some calls from beauticians and barbershops. Let me say that we didn't have the authority to close them. Only the governor had that, as we talked about it during our first press conference. Smaller counties are different than metropolitan counties, and so we didn't have the authority to close them, nor do we have the authority to open them. We can only refer you to the guidelines set out by the governor's office, and those guidelines state that you should. It does not state that you shall. So I would encourage those owners of the barbershops and beauticians to read those guidelines, and it'll be entirely up to those operators if they want to open or not. With that being said, let me say one other thing. Mayor Harris mentioned about the U.S. Census. We can't stress enough how important that is to Loudon County to try to go online and fill out your census, because as Mayor Harris said, it's as far as the funding goes, the federal funding goes, it's really important to us, and we're doing good, 56%. But we need to step it up. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
On the census, if you no longer have the form sent in the mail, can you all share a link on your pages to where they can go fill it out online?
Yeah, we'll try to do that, and you can get online. I mean, I filled mine out online personally, so you can get online and pull those up and fill them out.
We'll share those links
but
today.
we'll try to do that.
2020census.gov, I think is what it is.
Okay.
You know.
One more, do you have any idea on the churches?
Churches, they're allowed to open up, and in Loudon County, they've never had to close. Some has closed and out of the abundance of caution, but I know I had several calls from pastors, and again, we didn't have the authority to close them. It's not in the executive order, but some of them did close, do just precautionary measures, taking precautionary measures, and so again, I think we need to practice social distancing, but and take all the necessary precautions, washing your hands and not hugging people, but I certainly see no reason why they should not be allowed to operate. Yes, ma'am.
So with everything opening up at 50% capacity, is there any way that you guys are going to keep tabs on that to make sure that they're actually at 50%, or is it kind of an honor system?
I think it's sort of an honor system, and I think people has done extremely well in Loudon County, and I see no reason why that they won't continue to do so. Do y'all have anything?
On the churches, we have, the pastors I've talked to nobody knows their congregation better than the pastor, I hope. And so I've told them it's strictly up to them when they choose to reopen. As far as the restaurants, I think, I concur with what Mayor Aiken said. I think that, Loudon County's done an outstanding job of squashing this and flattening the curve, so I'm assuming our business owners will continue that trend.
And that's the direction, I think Governor Lee he's just expecting Tennesseans to do their part, act responsibly, and kind of self-manage, you know, the situation. And it doesn't have heavy mandates on the pledge. He made that clear.
Mayor Birchfield, do you have something as well?
Yeah, this is my first rodeo, and I gotta give thanks to the other mayors, especially Buddy, for keeping us all informed of what's going on. The responsibility of being a mayor or whatever is try to do their best for our citizens, to keep them in touch, and give them the honor system of doing the rules and carrying them out in a right way. Be respectful for other people. If they want to wear a mask, that's their prerogative. But in Greenback, we're a small community, but we work together and we rely on Loudon County for our revenue. And I ask everyone to fill out their census thing so we can maybe have a little more money to work with. But and I want to thank our churches for reaching out to their people. And churches have always usually been the first ones to step up to try to help people. And their revenue has went down, so they're in this ball game with all of us. And I'm sure if we work together, we'll get through this. Our country's never seen anything like this that in our time. So it's you try to help everyone and give them the right leadership, and things are passed down to us. We may not agree with them, but we rely on the other people to go by those guidelines and to take care of themselves and be kind to other people and their neighbors. And like again, I want to thank Buddy for his keeping us all informed, which is, I think he's went beyond the call of duty on that. But anyway, thank you, sir.
I'm good, thank you.
Mayor Miller's declined, but now, Mayor, you said now Philadelphia Park itself
It will remain closed.
will remain closed, but the trails are open.
The trails are open, but the park will remain closed.
Open up the questions, or any questions coming across, or?
When will the restrictions that have been relaxed on the restaurants and stuff be lifted? Like the go alcohol sales, food trucks being allowed? I know it's different in each city and the county and that sort of thing, but.
I think they're gonna evaluate it for 14 days, 2 weeks, and then I expect something to come out from Governor Lee this week or next week about that.
So at least for beyond May the 1st?
Yes,
Alcohol
yes.
sales to go still will be allowed?
Yes, alcohol, and that says that in executive order. Bars are still closed, but takeout, you can order takeout alcohol and things like that, but bars are still closed.
Okay, all right.
Thank y'all.
Thank you all
Thanks
very
for
much.
coming.
Hey, I need to get a picture of all the mayors before you're done.
Okay.
Okay. Together? All
Yes,
together?
please, that's
Okay.
what Lee has asked for.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody else has.
Should be a line-up chart behind them, that'd be way funnier.
Perfect,
It's a
thank you,
mug
Jim.
shot.
I see that same picture on the post office wall.
With drawings on it. Yeah. I think he said he sent it to me.
Oh,
He sent it to that.